Why was the non-availability of the names in the public domain for such a long time? Like, was it also a conscious decision from the families that we are not going to bring our names out?
I think I read an article from 2003 when after Lalu Yadav, Nitish Kumar became the railway minister. Nitish Kumar had actually refused to share the names of the victims at that point of time for God knows what reason. And after that, immediately all these judicial trials and all of that began. So I think naturally it became sub judice and the names could not come out. Maybe if they were written in local newspapers, it may have been. I'm not aware of that. We're best to check with some journalist who's been covering this for a long time. But they finally came out in 2021 when First Post published the first set of names, and then immediately organizer published it. I think somebody working within Mr. Gopal Goswami, he still works very closely with the RSS, so he had access to a lot of these families. He was able to compile these names and put them out.
Hmm. But how has this entire process, in your opinion, of spending so much time with these families, what has it done to them in terms of their mm, what am I looking at as the word? Their faith in the system, their faith in the state. When I say state, I don't mean Congress and BJP. I just mean the state.
Yeah.
Uh, um, their overall approach to life in general. What did you see in them?
That was my first curiosity was what sort of families do these people belong to? Because like from what I've read in the media before I met them, I thought these people are going to be some sort of sword wielding, uh, you know, slogan chanting families that has been described there, and they would perhaps be among the retrograde fringe crowd as they have described. So I was more curious about meeting these people and finding out who they were. And Kushal, every single family that I've met were normal below middle class or maximum middle class families that they belong to even today. There are women who are cooking in the kitchen, the men who are carpenters, construction workers, the Prajapati family, for instance. They're all maestries, like masons. They do these sort of work. And Meena Ben, she's a cook even today. She cooks at a school so that she can feed hungry children because she's lost her husband, she's lost her daughter. And There were normal people, like you and I, how much faith we would have on the system, on everything else. They just had their faith in Lord Ram from day one. And they said that if this incident has happened, then maybe he has a plan in mind. He said that, okay, I mean, of course, they're telling this after 20 years. So everything has, uh, passed by, time has passed by. And I also wanted to find out whether they were being very vengeful about what had happened, whether they would be angry. And turns out, to my surprise, they've moved on, actually, in a manner of speaking. But they don't want their sacrifices to not be remembered. Because you look at my conversation with Mr. Prajapati, uh, he says that he even held that body, he saw acid and petrol inside. So imagine the kind of, and there are a lot of backstories, by the way. When I met the Prajapati family, for instance, their first thing that they said was, "आप तो इतने दूर से आए हैं तो हम ना नहीं बोल सकते." So I knew that I was up for a very intense conversation, and until his mother actually revealed, pulled up her pallu, I never thought that she had lost her arm. I had no idea about it. It was all on the spot when I got the family to sit down and speak to me. And he tells me that he was in Baroda at that time when this incident happened. And he was about how old I am, maybe 26, 27 years old. And he immediately got a call. He was just married. He was recently married. And that day it was his brother's daughter's birthday, which was going on. When he got the news, he immediately went to Godhra. He collected the body. He saw the body. There was a phone booth nearby. He went, he called his family. He told his wife this was happening and he asked what was happening at home. His wife said, that his brother's daughter's birthday was going on. So he said, all the kids are home, there are celebrations are going on, please don't tell them until I come back. That family had no idea that this whole thing was happening for one entire day until those bodies were actually brought back. So that was and his mother, obviously, we always think about moving on, closure, and all of that immediately when something happens. Look at the kind of stress that these families have taken. Like Bipin and Ashok were childhood friends. Bipin was the one who arranged all the tickets for all these car sevaks to go there. And till today, and he could not go because his brother met with an accident. And he never told me in the first place why he was doing this. He would coordinate everything. He would get me a cup of tea. But I would ask him, you're the central guy in this. I need to talk to you. He says, no, no, you just do your work. Don't disturb me at this point. And towards the end, I said, I have to talk to you. Otherwise, I'm not closing this project. And at that point, even they knew how persistent I was. I would call them every day, even at the cost of disturbing some of these families. And then they finally began to trust me. And then he tells me that he lost two people in his family. And why is he guilty even today? Why does he personally feels that he owes an answer to all these families that he knew, because he was the one who booked that ticket. He's living in guilt, and he says, until the time that I die, I will never get rid of this guilt.
Mm.
Because he's not in guilt that he booked the tickets. That is one part. He's in guilt that he didn't die that day. And Ashok
Mm.
Prajapati's mother, she tried to commit suicide 3 times. She tried falling from a building once. She tried to go in front of a moving train once. I may be wrong with a few details, but thrice she's tried to commit suicide, and she lost an arm in the process. She wouldn't eat anything for nearly 10 to 15 years. She was, I think, surviving on basic water and this and that, and sometimes she had to be force fed. And finally, when the Ram Mandir was constructed, that is the first day she started smiling and eating food. This is the sort of things that I'm seeing. I broke down. I need to make sure that these stories are heard. So my humble request is that people watch this more than anything else.
Yeah, so देखो भाई आयुष्मान, how to support the cause. एक काम कर, अभी इतना जो 1 घंटे से
One more
बोला है
thing,
उसको
Kushal,
सुन ले
is that
वापस.
मैं तो बोलता हूँ, प्लीज स्क्रीनिंग्स अरेंज करो. अगर आप कॉलेज स्टूडेंट हो, आपके कॉलेज के ऑडिटोरियम में करो. If you are a person which is running a society, NGO, anything, gather people, put it on a projector. It is very easy today. And I'll be happy to come wherever you call me. I'll be happy to answer. I'll get other people also, journalists who have covered this for years, because without their help, this couldn't have happened. Imagine if I'm scared to do this 22 years after it happened. People
Mm.
have actually reported the truth. People like Uday Mahurkar, Madhukeshwar also, for a long time, she wrote her version of what she believed was true. A lot of people have tried to give the other perspective, that this was all pre-planned.
Mm.
uh, and they've risked their lives. They've been exiled from Gujarat. Their careers have been lost. So everyone's paid a very, very heavy price. A small acknowledgement that things have gone wrong, you've done great, will go a long way. So please arrange screenings as much as possible and get especially the 18 to 30 crowd to watch this.
Sure. That, well, you guys have heard it. So all of you who want to arrange, so there are, I'll once again repeat, there are multiple ways you can support this documentary. And Sharan, number one, as you see on the screen, once again, you can, this donation link that you see on the screen right now is there in the description of the podcast too. So you can go and donate directly on this page, and the money goes to the documentary. And see if the documentary is able to cover its costs, that is good first step. But if it's able to cover its costs and then also be profitable, then what happens is, then other such documentaries can be made. There are so many such stories that we need to show our side. I'll give you an example. CBC just came up with a bullshit documentary about, where they interviewed Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, and they are again, see what the reason why is, a lot of these things are incentivized. and our side is not good at these things, and we should be doing more of this. So I think, yes, you should watch the documentary. I mean, it's there on the Swarajya page. Obviously, it's there on my channel also. If you want to watch it there, you can watch it there. I would prefer all of you go and watch it on Swarajya. मेरे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. But wherever you want to watch it, I have also uploaded it on my channel. I won't be making any money on it because उसमें ad revenue नहीं बन सकता, because the revenue will all go to Swarajya's ad revenue before you guys think. I just uploaded it for my subscribers also, so that not everybody who subscribes to Swarajya might have subscribed to me, so more people watch it. So watching it is the first part, but I think donating is the most important part. So donate, um, and that's the most important area where you can do it. And the second step is go follow Sharan. I've left his X handle in the description. Again, in the description of the podcast, there is Sharan's X handle, and the link to the documentary is obviously there. You can watch it, and there are multiple ways you can do it. Like, yeah, actually, this is a great recommendation. If I can talk to the temple in my area and see if they are willing to do, make sure that temple is not the Hindu Sabha Mandir and the trustee is not Madhusudan Lama. नहीं तो वो तो बोल देगा खालिस्तानियों की डॉक्यूमेंट्री कर दो, तुम्हारी नहीं करनी. सो भाई, क्योंकि आप अमेरिकन हो, मेरे को लग रहा है आप कैनेडियन नहीं हो, तो फिर ठीक है, आप बच गए. आपका ट्रस्टी इतना मधुसूदन लामा नहीं होगा. बट या, दिस इज अ गुड आइडिया. इफ यू आर आउटसाइड इंडिया, इफ यू कैन डू स्क्रीनिंग्स, बिकॉज you have the YouTube link. You don't have to even take Sharan's
Yeah.
permission to do that. And if you guys can do a screening of this documentary in your mandir and then do a donation drive where you have the link, right? You can just log on and make an online donation right then and there. So if you guys can do that, right, this goes a long way. And also follow Sharan on X. And listen, that this was my job to air this and try to help in whatever way I can possibly do this. I've always believed that the Charvak podcast is all about these kinds of ventures and these kinds of projects where uh, I am able to talk about these issues is because I don't care who gets pissed off in the process. Also, I'm also able to do this is because of many of you who actually have joined my membership program, and because of you who pay me monthly small amounts, small amounts. That's the reason. So I don't care. I talk about whatever I want to talk about because there are people, a few of you, who fund my intellectual freedom. Sometimes you may not even agree with what I do, but you still pay me, which is the beauty of this entire process. And we've reached 283,000. So we have raised 45,000 in just a few minutes. So I want you guys, I want this, by the time we finish this 24-hour run, I hope you guys are able to cross 5 lakhs on this one. So if you guys can do this, I would really be really appreciated. um, Keep following the Cārvāka podcast, keep supporting the Cārvāka podcast, and keep supporting such noble efforts. And always, I'm a Nastic. I don't pray, but if you do believe, do pray for the families, pray for their peace, and hopefully, tell Lord Ram to bless these people. And Sharan, thank you very much for coming, and keep doing the good work.